Today is Saturday, May 11th, 2024. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I am Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 46, Week 11.
Yes, quite an interesting week in Survivor episodes for sure. History has been made. Never before have we seen a group of castaways. Joanne hangs her head. Never have we seen a group of castaways perform so poorly with regards to immunity idols. It's a staggering new precedent Season 46 has delivered.
Not that many consecutively.
In a row, and then just the total is history-making in itself. 4 immunity idols exited in the pockets. This is a stellar cast in ways that I'm sure they had not anticipated. Certainly, they didn't have an intention for making history in this regard.
Wow.
And in the listener feedback show this week, we will talk about that as we go through.
Okay.
People have thoughts, and they're going to share.
Figured they would.
Yeah. Anything else we need to do before we get started?
Nope. Let's just see what Pete has to say.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Oh, my goodness. This is insanity with this idol crap. Finding it and going home with it in your back pocket. But it was delicious this time because I'm glad Venus went home. A scapegoat. So let me let out a great big woo! And this is Venus calling. I got an idol, and I'm not telling anyone. Oh, my Venus, because you don't know how to play the game. Why would you hint that to Charlie? Even though you didn't say it blatantly, but you made it obvious, and that's why you got what you deserved and got blindsided. Even Kenzie voted for you. Only one that didn't besides yourself, it looked like, was Ben. Voted for Kenzie, maybe in case you did play an idol there. But man, it's ridiculous. They want to call this a new era with twists, this and that. Why don't we go back to old school without even idols, pre-Guatemala and Panama? Because now idols seem to not be working. People reveal their plans, but that's never going to happen. That's just my take. Okay, poor Liz is having a struggle with not being able to go on a reward. It was one thing last week with Q, with the Applebee's. I think Maria made a mistake there, and that may hurt her now moving forward because Charlie is finally starting to see through it and realizes how close her and Q have gotten, and that doesn't bode well for Maria. I think she was lucky to win this challenge, but she better be careful now. Charlie is realizing that his number one isn't his number one as much anymore, but we'll see how it goes. Right now, guys, I believe Maria's still got a shot. Charlie built up his resume a little bit better now. I would watch out for Kenzie still. She hasn't pissed anyone off. And if she makes it to the end, guys, remember, it would pretty much be on her own after Tiff's blind side, which would be very, very impressive. Liz, I think, could be seen as a GOAT, just like Q. I don't think she could win at this point either. And Ben is likable. He would have a better chance than Q or Liz. But what has Ben really done? Nothing compared to Charlie and Maria with the Seeger folks left too. So to me, Maria still got a shot. I didn't like how she chose with the reward there with the rock, paper, scissors. I think that could bite her down the road here. I really like Kenzie still. I know odds don't look good. And Charlie, I feel like, built up his resume a little better. We'll see. And Liz and Q are now the top two goats because bye-bye Venus on the jury. I gotta catch out Venus's interview. She had to have no inkling of being voted out. I mean, did she not see what happened to Tiff? And Hunter before that, she had to have not a clue for sure. And she has to have regret how she played the game. So I bet you she don't. She's not going to regret it. And I'll check out if there's any extra clips too. Venus, you got what you deserve. This is a delicious episode, though. Take care. Woo.
Whoa, thanks, Pete. She definitely had a clue. She has stated clearly in each of the exit interviews that I've either listened to or read that she knew once she made the up the sleeve comment to Charlie that she had sunk herself, that was it. She is absolutely convinced that Q was going, and her blunder brought on her downfall. I got no problem saying, in the context of the game, she failed on almost every aspect of gameplay. And this last one, to end that way, was just the cherry on the top of all of it. I think she's got potential, but this was just...
She would have to mature a lot, I think. And yeah, I think it's just the maturity level, because she's got to let go of a lot of issues, I think, before, because she's got some game. I think she could.
There is awareness. We saw that multiple
yes.
times exemplified, that she understood situations, but being able to manage social interactions in the context of this game isn't an easy thing to do.
No.
By any means. And we've seen lots of people this season demonstrate how to do that very poorly.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's just maturity, but yeah, maybe.
Pete mentioned Guatemala. I can't even hear the word Guatemala without seeing Bobby John's eyes roll back in his head.
No, I was thinking of Hogaboom, trying to figure out where
Up in the tree?
Yeah, where Judd had been looking for that idol. That's what I saw when he said that.
We may have to rewatch Guatemala.
Yeah, well, it was a good one.
I did enjoy that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
very much.
Quite some incredible characters in that one.
Oh, Rafe. We laughed so hard at Rafe. Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. All right. Thanks, Pete. Up next, we have a call from Robert.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans, this is Robert from Canada calling in. I thought that overall this was another pretty good episode, and I can't decide whether these people going home with idols in their pockets, whether they're bad Survivor players, or whether the people orchestrating their blindsides and making them feel comfortable, whether they're really good Survivor players. And I think that the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, maybe tending towards the bad Survivor players. But for me, it doesn't really matter because I'm really enjoying this cast, and I think it's nice that we have a season here where the cast isn't all kumbaya and there's a little bit of fire there and people have passion and they're not all getting along. And I think that we're in for a really entertaining finish to this season, and I think potentially a very bitter jury. But the challenge this week, I really enjoyed the reward immunity challenge. I was really hoping Venus was going to pull out the win, especially because I had Venus as a safe point this week. And then to make matters worse, I had Maria as my vote out this week, so it was really a nail biter. And it didn't go the way I was hoping, but that's the way it goes. When Venus found her idol this week, I immediately declared out loud, and I think I paused the television even, I said, if she tells a single person about this idol, she will go home. Then as soon as she started saying things like, oh, Tiff probably feels so awful going home with an idol, I can't imagine, or whatever she said. And then later on, oh, sure, I'll search over here. I haven't checked over here. To me, this just showed that eventually she's going to spill the beans. She can't contain it, and that's what she did to Charlie. And as soon as she did that, I'm like, well, there goes Venus. She's going home. And I'm going to lose the save point this week. I really enjoyed Venus calling out Maria at Tribal Council for how she made her decision for the reward. And it's just too bad it's the end of Venus in this game. Not only because she was the sole Canadian this season, but she definitely brought some entertainment to the game and some passion as well. So it's sad to see her go, and it's too bad she didn't play her idol. I must say, I really miss some satisfying idol plays where it makes a difference in the game and Jeff gets to announce that this vote does not count, this vote does not count. It's just something that doesn't really happen anymore. So for next week, I think I'll keep Maria as my vote out. I think her and Charlie are probably the obvious targets. I'm not looking forward to more conversations about the Q-skirt. And I'm really hoping that this last episode was the last episode where we have to hear the words several or Jelensky, because I don't want to hear them anymore. It's funny, after I listened to your recap earlier, I listened to Jeff Probst's podcast, and of course it was called episode several. So I'm done with the word several. Let's move on to numerous or plenty. There's lots of other words to say. Anyway, that's it for me. You guys just take care.
Excellent. Thanks, Robert. Enjoyed that. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Rebecca calling from Northern California with my feedback. I want to take a brief moment to address the cast of season 46. Hey, guys. I wanted to let you know that those immunity idols, the reason you get them is so when you're at tribal council and you're probably going to be voted out because people have been talking about it for days. So you play it when Jeff Probst says, does anybody have a hidden immunity idol? You throw that bad boy down, and then all those votes for you that we all knew were coming does not count, does not count, does not count. And somebody else gets home and you live to play another day. And then you can go out and find another idol. Like Ben, several seasons back, he just kept finding idols and he made it to the end and then he won. So, yeah, maybe try that if you ever get to play this game again. What are the odds of 3 weeks in a row? Not only does somebody go home with an idol in their pocket, but all 3 weeks, it's who I chose as safe. I don't know. What are the odds? Interesting season. I'm glad Venus went home. I found her very annoying when she said, for the first time ever, I wasn't in on the vote. I was, well, you thought you were in on the vote every other time, but you weren't really in on the vote every other time. You were playing a game that kind of existed solely in your head that nobody else was playing. And I feel bad for her because I feel like she's going to watch this season back and maybe get her feelings hurt. Love Charlie. He's really smart. I, too, appreciated all the time that we got to watch him work through his process of how he's figuring out where to go, who to vote for. I love Kenzie. I love Maria, but I think this is part of the not playing the idol when you really should play the idol. I feel like everyone is lacking a great amount of hubris this season where they're playing too loud, too proud. Maria, when you make a big move, don't crow so much about the big move because then they're going to come after you next. And yeah, I too was completely baffled by her choices for the reward challenge. I can't wait to see what happens next, even though I am doing terribly at JSFL and 2 points from the bottom in the side challenge. It's a really interesting season. I like the unpredictability. I had Maria as my vote off point because I really thought it was time for her to be blindsided. And then, of course, she wins immunity. And that's just kind of how it's been going for me this season. Going into the final episodes, I think it's imperative for them to get Q and Maria out. Maria first, Q second. I think Kenzie has a great shot of winning. I think Charlie has a great shot of winning. Very exciting weekend coming up for me. My baby sister's getting married. I'm saying a speech. And when I get to the end of my speech, which is about vows and commitment, I say the following. Rainey, Ryan, the tribe has spoken. I don't know. Maybe it won't go over so well. Anyway, everybody have a great weekend. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy. And I'll talk to y'all later.
Excellent. Thanks, Rebecca.
I remember when Rebecca was saying that about Maria. I remember thinking as she's just sitting there and they're so happy for me and my big move. I'm thinking, no, they're not. She did show her glee a little bit much, I think.
Yeah. Wow. After that exemplar performance there by Rebecca, I'm thinking we need to get her lined up so she can deliver Rebecca's remedial survivor strategy school to 47 and 48. Okay. So we don't get more of this. I'll reach out to Probst, see if we can't get that set up. Although
sure.
I think 47's already going, so maybe she could help 48. Thanks, Rebecca. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is David from Oklahoma. Just got to do it quick because I got stuff to do today. But basically, 4 idols should have played them. Who do I think is going to win? Charlie. And I'm not really sure what Kenzie has to really tell her story and show why she's got to win. If anyone has any ideas of any credit that Kenzie has, please let me know. Thanks. Bye. Gotta go.
All right. Thanks, David.
I think Kenzie's credit is there's people on the jury that like her.
There is that, yes.
How many other people that are still in the game do they actually like?
Tiffany and
Charlie.
Hunter had really good connections with Kenzie,
yes,
for sure.
And Charlie.
Yeah. He's not on the jury yet. Are you predicting he's soon to be on the jury?
I don't know. He might.
Yeah.
He certainly would be a good choice. If I had to pick for a winner right now, it would definitely be probably Charlie. If not him, then Kenzie maybe. I just think that they'll go after Maria. They'd be silly not to.
Yes, but
if
you
she
just
keeps
described how this whole season has
challenges-
worked.
I know.
They would be silly to fill in the blank. Welcome to
Well, at
Silly
least
46.
we know there are no more idols coming. They said the last idol of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we won't have that happen again.
Unfortunately, we won't get to have
Jeez.
number 5 because I think this crew could deliver.
I think they could too.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kenzie's social game is probably her biggest asset, I think, to David's question. And she was definitely in on some of the moves.
And she's already
Some of the
let
votes.
Tiffany know on the jury that I was blindsided by your blindside.
Did not take part.
That's right. So
Thanks, David. Next up, we got a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all the Survivor superfans, it's Justin from Michigan. So, start out this week, I really loved the challenge. It looked fun. It looked like everybody had a good chance. It's personally one I don't think I would do well at. I don't have the steadiest hand, so I think I'd probably maybe get it to the first basket, but that'd be about it. But I did like that everybody was in it, and I do feel bad for Venus that she was so close, and that really would have changed the direction of the game if she would have won. I do think Maria would have went home in that case, and with Venus's idol, she's probably in the final 4 for sure. Maria really needed to be more decisive on that challenge decision. She just needed to make her decision, whether it's strategy or compassion or a mixture of both. She needed to make it clearly and just own it. Instead, she just sounded really wishy-washy and hypocritical. It sounded like she wanted to get the best of both worlds, and instead it bit her. I really didn't like that moment for Maria. I think she might have actually lost a vote or two if it comes down to her in the end versus somebody like Charlie. I think that could be the difference, that people just didn't respect the way that she did that. I want to go back to Liz because I have not been high on Liz, but she sold tribal again. She made it seem like, oh my gosh, we cannot get Q out. And this is the second time in a row she's put that probably genuine feeling aside and voted not against Q. Voted with the group to get out Venus this week.
Point.
Last week, voted with the group to get out Tiffany. So I'm going to give Liz some credit. She is emotional, but when the cards are on the table, she puts her emotions aside and makes the move that's best for her game, which I like. I'm wondering, with a third person in a row going home with an idol, will the Survivor 49 contestants who got to see this whole season, will they kind of overcorrect? Will they just automatically play their idols no matter what? Because this is kind of a warning for future players. Don't go home with an idol in your pocket. I'm just wondering if we're going to have a lot of misplays and a lot of premature plays in Survivor 49 because of this. Just a thought I had. I have Marie going again this week. I think she would have won if she hadn't won immunity. And then looking ahead, I would be happy with just about any combination of Final 3. It's a good mix of strong players, average players who could make a good case, and then just entertaining players who I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say, like Q. So I guess I'd be rooting for Charlie, Kenzie, and Q Final 3, and then Charlie would probably take it with Kenzie getting that one vote to get her second place. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, but like I said, looking forward to how it all shakes out, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. There was an extra scene with Liz and Q where they were trying to hash some things out. They were talking it out. He was trying to figure out if there was any way they could quash the issues that were between them. And I liked how he came at it. It was, we're way more similar than we are different in terms of our upbringing and our successes later in life.
And that was Q and who?
Liz.
Oh, yeah.
Justin was highlighting and saying, hey,
Yeah.
we need to recognize Liz needs some credit for these moves she's made and helping with the Q blindsides.
Man, I don't see her
She didn't reconcile.
forgiving
She did.
for
She said at the
anything.
end she wasn't
No.
she wasn't done with all that.
I would expect her
But she was trying. He was
to
trying.
be as open to it as Kenzie was, which was not at all.
Yeah, something along those lines. It doesn't seem like he's got any route. Q has any pathway in terms of a social game outside of Maria.
Not unless he's a really good talker, like people have said.
Acknowledging that.
I don't think he's that good, maybe. But
To overcome this, yeah, the perception we hear of him is so negative. Thanks, Justin. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California.
I do feel a bit sorry for Kenzie and how she was feeling about the Tiffany blindside last episode and how she would have joined them in the vote if she knew. But props for Maria to be able to claim that move for herself and get the credit for actually taking the shot. When it came to the tribal council hunt, I probably would have also started early in the morning like Q did and have searched everywhere. I am a bit impressed with Venus and how she stored the memory of how the other idols were found earlier this season. But if you have the idol, I wouldn't have acted all weird and suspicious to give anyone a clue as to question if I have something or not. I would have tried to play it cool and act like nothing was found. I don't know if there is a record here, but this was the third time in a row that someone got voted out with an idol in their pocket. Given how the last two tribals went, I would have played one if I had it, especially in the one where Hunter went. This whole season, the idols were duds, and pretty much if you found one, then you're out that tribal. This recent challenge could have really been anyone's win since they were all so close to the end. But I am happy Maria pulled it out. She needed this win to save herself. But I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the thought process of how she decided to choose to join choose to join her on the pizza reward. Picking Ben made some sense, but then having the others minus Charlie say why she should pick them and then think long and hard about who to choose as the second one. When she talked about the lack of food and who needs it more, I was kind of surprised after everything she said that she didn't pick Liz, but then ultimately chose Q as the other one to go. I do think that will bite her in the butt. This was definitely a Maria-centric episode, and she will probably be gone the next episode before the finale. If the final five of Liz, Kenzie, Charlie, Ben, and I think it was Q as the fifth member, I think it would be Charlie who would win in that group. However, I think even though Liz hasn't done a whole lot, her story could be interesting about the lack of food and being able to survive for as long as she has. 2 episodes left, and this season could end with a bang, but we shall see. All right, thanks, Jack. Up next, we have a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. So I did go up this morning to my meeting up north. So you kept me company again, but the nice thing is that this week the meeting actually happened. So yeah, I watched the episode yesterday. I just can't. There's so many big, dumb, bad moves going on and kind of big, dumb, bad people. There's a few people I kind of like Charlie and Kenzie. I kind of like. I was almost like Venus was almost growing on me just because she was so determinedly kind of toxic, but also just really scrappy, I guess. But just dumb moves and dumb people. Don't get me started on Q's spelling of Venus, but I mean, how can I say this? I mean, I do like Maria in a way, but then she made such a huge dumb thing today. And Liz, my gosh, if it's not Charlie at this point, I'm going to be just calling this season kind of a total loss. So yeah, I guess the snake challenge with the maze puzzle, whatever it was okay. I guess the trick was you have to keep the pole connected to the snake, because if it could just float up, does that disqualify you? If it has to go around the obstacles, but it seems like it would need to be held onto there. Maybe the pole can tilt, but I don't know. It seemed like a strange thing, but yeah, I think a lot of people had Maria to go, so that kind of threw a wrench in the gears. I just don't really care. I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I mean. Frustrating. I kind of hoped that Venus would, because I feel like there's a lot of cockroaches this season, just people that just will not go away. And of course, now Venus does. I kind of thought she'd hold out. I can't remember if I had her safe. I definitely had Q safe, so I kind of thought that Kenzie was done just because she would kind of be out of the loop. But so I think that at this point, I'm really looking for like maybe a Charlie, maybe a Maria, and then some kind of GOAT for the final three. Either Liz or Q, I guess. There's only 6 left. But then is a non-entity. Who else is even left? Let's see. Maria and Liz, Charlie, Q, and look at that. I can't even remember. Wow. I'm sure you guys are shouting it out right now. But anyway, have a good weekend. Looking forward to, I guess, the season wrapping up, just because that means that we're going to get another season, and looking for returning players in a year or two. But always glad to hear from you two anyway. Thanks again for the company. Always glad to hear from everyone else. Familiar voices. I'm kind of middling in the JSFL this season pretty much consistently. I expect Foley to get the final 5 order completely wrong as usual, so I may still be able to pull kind of like a middle ground finish. So talk to you later. Bye.
Excellent. Glad we could accompany you again on your trip north there, Drew. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joanna and Stacy. It's David in Pittsburgh, and I'm calling in even though I really don't have anything new to say that I'm sure all the other fans have said, but I'm going to say it anyway. And plus, I know that if I didn't call in, Joanne would be so disappointed that it would probably ruin her week. So this is for you, Joanne. I'm just going to compare Charlie to Maria because I really think they're playing the best game, but a different game. Charlie's doing the social game, and he's trying to stay under the radar and seems to be doing a good job. But the problem for Charlie is, even though he was winning immunities and putting a target on his back, I think he had enough goodwill with the other members to stay in the game. But I think he made a mistake in not voting against Q, getting him out and keeping Venus. Because if he believed Venus that she had something, I think that he should have kept her to see what it was. I think Venus made a big mistake. She said that she was going to let him know what it was after Q was voted out. So she went in with a little more self-confidence in what was going to happen than she should have had. But I think that Charlie made a mistake here. Doesn't mean he's not going to win the game, but I think he made a mistake in not keeping Venus over Q. Maria's playing a really strategic game. She managed several blindsides. She won immunity, and she has a ride or die up till now a player with her. That's Charlie, and she trusts him. We haven't seen anything about her saying when she's got to get rid of Charlie, and I'm wondering if she's playing the game so that she can go to the very end with Charlie. But I think her best strategic move was befriending Q. Everybody wants him out. Nobody's going to vote for him. And I think that she has a loyal ally in him. He was ready to give up the game a while back. He lost all of his power, and now he's aligned with Maria. If they can keep the Sega 3 and Q, they'll go to the Final Four. Then, Charlie, you can decide on what to do. But if he gets Maria out now, I think that's going to raise his target level. People are going to see how he has been playing the game. So I don't know. It's a Jesse Cody situation. It did not work out for them. I think if Charlie pulls that same move, it might not work out for them. Oh my gosh. If the final 3 are Liz, Ben, and Kenzie, we are going to have a lot of unhappy people watching this show. And I'll talk to you guys next week, which will be my last time because I'm going away after that. So good to talk to you today. Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, David.
I don't know how David knew that would have just been the last straw for my week.
Yeah.
Thank you, David, for making the effort.
Appreciate that. Next up, we got a call from Shahin.
Hi, Joanne and Stacey. Hope you and the fans are all on safe. What a trifecta. 3 weeks in a row of just pure bedlam and insane gameplay. As I watched the episode more and more, the more surprised and somewhat happier I was with Venus's gameplay. After struggles with adaptation, with acclimatization, I thought, this is the moment. Then she paraded her right in front of the camera. And like you, Stacey, I was like, yeah, she's gone. She's leaving, and I've lost another save point. Just having a terrible time last 2 weeks with this save point management. But this episode really encapsulated the player in Venus. I thought she was immature, but she knew the nuances of the game. She wanted to play, sometimes didn't know how to play. She had the right ideas, but didn't know how to execute them. And I think these things happen with someone of her age. And I think it's okay. I think at least she wanted to play. Like, there are so many others this season, at least five of them that weren't here to play or weren't ready to play at all. in comparison, and they've got a much better rap than her. And I can't connect the dots other than everyone got a bad dose of jabbing and couldn't shake that initial impression of her. And now we arrive at my second point. Her interview with multiple outlets just left me completely stunned. I know we've heard of salty jury members, disagreements, we've seen bad blood, we've seen relationships grow. We've seen it all. What I don't remember is most of the jury subjecting an individual to what is tantamount to bullying. I think this just paints the cast in a worse light than before for me. And between the gameplay, the bad gameplay, the casting of individuals for these TV moments at the detriment of good gameplay and subsequently good TV moments, and now these allegations, I just can't wait for the season to end. And not in a good way, I'm on the verge of checking out, and I've not done that before. I don't think I've done that. Props to Hunter to make an effort with her at Ponderosa, but I think Tevin and Co, I just don't have the words, really. I can't agree with anything that happened there. Well, what I will finish with is Jeremiah's post in the Facebook group. I think we need to be cognizant of these individuals all having flaws. And while the show is highly edited, I agree, it does not provide others the grounds to treat an individual with disrespect, disdain, and to bully them. I guess Survivor is the lens in which we view an individual, but some compassion is needed, and there is a person outside the game. Foresee some of the other fans sending feedback with negative feedback regarding her, and my message to them is I agree with your sentiment, but look at what they've had to do to get here. Look at their walk of life. Her walk of life is not dissimilar to mine. Both of our parents fled the same country, both faced prejudice in a foreign country, and us as individuals too, to an extent. And I found her message to win Iran was quite poignant at the time, as my aunt was released from prison in Iran a few days ago. She was in prison for, I think, nearly 6 months, but was facing a 3-year jail sentence for just simply teaching her faith to Afghan immigrants in the northeast of the country. So, yeah, I think I'll leave it there, and I just hope that we have really good gameplay coming forward. I doubt it. Thanks for all that you do.
I like that. We'll have really good gameplay, but I doubt it.
We will, Shahin. We will.
Well, it's been, like so many have said, there's absolutely entertaining moments, even when you see somebody bumble their way through. It can offer some humor.
Well, yeah, and you could, in some instances, you could see yourself do some of those things.
Oh, yeah. Anyone could goof up in the context.
I do it all the time.
Sure.
Say things wrong, and all kinds of, and you'll say, you want me to cut that out? I'm like, nah, it might make somebody laugh.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, great news.
Nobody's perfect.
Great news about your aunt there, Shahin. That's good to hear, too. Yeah, so many places those atrocities are actively happening. And we're certainly glad when we get to hear even a little bit of good news like that. Next up, we got a call from Kim.
Hey, Survivor fans. This is Kim from North Carolina. When Charlie said Survivor is about working with people, adapting to what's in front of you, and keeping your options open, I wrote a great big star and winner on my notepad. I hope he makes it to the final 3 so that he can expound on this statement. Venus really had a sense of the game in one way, but she had no social game, and she left with an idol. These people are playing way too far into the future. They need to take care of, what did Charlie say? What's in front of you? Maria disappointed me this week, and my thinking about Q is kind of what David said. We never thought Gabler could win, but he did. I really don't want Q to be the next Gabler. I think a good threesome of Liz, Kenzie, and Ben could work with Charlie to get Maria and Q out, although it'd probably be smarter to get Maria and Charlie out and then hope that whatever they're doing at Final 4 works out for him. But in that case, I think Kenzie would win, and I'd be okay with that. I've had a good year in JSFL, but I've slipped the last couple weeks with 2 3-point weeks. I really wanted Maria to go this time, and I think I'm going to put her to go next time. So I'm pulling for Charlie and Kenzie, however it happens. I want Q to go home. Bye-bye, Q. Bye-bye, Q. Take care, everybody. Talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Kim. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Jade-n-Christine.
Hi, Joanna and Stacey. This is Jade.
And Christine.
From Hawaii.
Aloha.
So it's been a little while, so we wanted to give some overall impressions of the last few episodes, which is basically like, what is the deal? Why cannot people hold on to their idols or play their idols and save
Correctly.
themselves. It's kind of annoying. It feels like people are so desperate to make these big moves and get all this credit every time there's a tribal council that they don't think about just saving themselves, right? Getting to the next day. Because you can't win if you don't make it through every tribal council.
Exactly. And with the idols, we were talking about this idea of maybe having a shorter expiration on the idol. So you get an idol and it's only good for the next tribal council or the next two or the one at the merge or something, so that people don't have to save it. They don't have that pressure of saving it to the very end, to the final 5, or they can use it for somebody else even in their alliance. Yeah, that might be helpful.
Yeah, there's precedent for that. They've done that before, so yeah, but ultimately it's not the idols, it's the cast.
Exactly.
It's the players, yeah.
It's the players, but that challenge was fantastic.
This episode, I love the challenge. I really love the new stuff. It's always fun to see a new challenge, and I liked this one particularly because everyone was there, everyone had a shot. It's just more exciting to watch that way.
Yeah, when everybody gets to that point where anybody can win, that's really exciting. Standing up. Yeah. Oh, but Maria and her choice, Sophie's choice, Maria's choice. Yeah, she's right. There's no winner. So you might as well just pick the people you want already. And I think people respect that.
Yeah, taking so long. I think it was sincere. Like, she really couldn't make a decision, but it came off looking really bad.
Yeah, and if she wants goodwill from Q, I don't think she's going to be able to count on that.
No.
I think he's just going to vote her out whenever he wants to vote her out.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should have just taken Liz.
Right.
And then we could all stop listening to her whining for once.
Exactly. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going to happen next week. I think Maria might be in trouble. Yeah.
But will it be Charlie or will it be Q that betrays her?
I don't know. Either one, everyone. I don't know. I just wish that I could have a week where I got all my safe points, because that is... I don't know. I swear, I put Venus out so many times, and this week I was like, I'll just put her safe, and then she gets voted out.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that is one thing about this season. It's been very unpredictable.
That's true. So that can make it kind of exciting. Yeah. It's unpredictable. But either way, we're looking forward to hearing what everyone else thinks.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jade-n-Christine.
Yep, Jezebel does affect how you feel about things.
Yes, and that unpredictability this season has had an impact. You can see that in those weeks where only a handful of people get the vote out, right?
That's right.
We've had several of those. Yeah, I guess I could see going back to the remedial immunity idols. It's like what Jade-n-Christine were talking about. It's idols on training wheels so that you can find your footing with them. You can get used to using them in a correct way, or at least be actionable with them. We have, like they mentioned, we've seen that before. It may be necessary. Hopefully the next cast will be better, but some of this I blame on Probst is and he gives those pep talks. Play like it's your second time in the game. You got to take risks. And he's basically got all these jugheads pushing. It's like if they're playing poker and they all go all in, every hand, all in, and they've got nothing. They're bluffing, and then they're out.
Yeah.
He's conditioned them to a degree, I think, to respond to that way.
I'm kind of ready for a season with no idols.
Yeah, that
was go. Yeah, let's just do
like
a
Pete was saying.
With no idols.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't think.
I don't think so either. But I'm okay.
They like their clever advantages so much now that they think it's an integral part of the new era. They haven't had all
that many advantages though this season.
Not this season, but I'm saying in the new era, in the 40s, they're
yes, but I'm glad
enamored.
They haven't had as many this season.
Yeah.
Just imagine if there'd been more idols and advantages.
Well, maybe someone would have played
more
it.
Times?
They could have made the record even bigger. Yeah. Okay. Thanks again, Jade-n-Christine. Next up, we got a call from Jill.
Hi, Drew and Stacey. Hi, Survivor fans. Jill in the Outback here. I couldn't get my feedback in last week. I was out in the middle of nowhere without any phone reception, which is a shame because I had a whole spiel in my head about how entitled Liz was with expecting everyone to feed her, and how stupid players are that get voted out with their idol in their pockets. I thought I'd have nothing to talk about this week. Well, Here we are. Isn't Liz entitled about expecting everyone to feed her? And boy, how stupid a plays. They'd get voted out with an idol in their pocket. Liz wasn't anywhere near as bad as she was last week when it came to being put out because she didn't get picked by the challenge winner for the reward. And she should probably thank Maria for making such a balls up of choosing who to take. If you wanted to take you, just take you. Doing what she did, just made a mockery out of it all. Saying that, the people that are degrading with their food and picking Q when there's two women standing next to him that haven't got a skerrick of fat between them. It was just crazy. When she looks back and wonders where she went wrong, it'll be that exact moment that lost her the game. This season is just chockers of people that don't know how to play Survivor and are making the silliest of moves. But what they are getting right is blindsides. To have, 3 people in a row plus one more that didn't play their idol is amazing. I audibly groaned when Venus said that she might keep the idol for the next week. I was like, oh, well, I know what's going to happen with you now. Charlie's probably the one that is playing the most intelligent, pulling himself out of the running for Maria to choose him for that reward. That was pretty clever. He could stay back and manipulate everyone to believe that he has nothing to do with Maria, or very little to do with Maria, and that Q is now the top dog. Liz finding her voice and becoming more assertive, that's not a bad thing, but she's almost dipping her toe into bullying territory, just telling Q straight out what she thinks of him. And as crazy as this is to say out loud, I think Q has a better chance of winning than what Liz does. I don't know who deserves to win, because none of them are really covering themselves in glory. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks so much to Anne Stacey for the show. Can't wait to hear everyone else's thoughts. Happy days, everyone. Bye.
Happy days. Thanks, Jill. Yeah, there's definitely nobody covered in glory. Maria thinks she is, I would imagine, at this point in the game, given what she said, her proclamations about how great she's doing. But like Jill was just recapping there, that she's completely threw that away. Venus said that she had them standing out there over 10 minutes trying to make that decision. And it was just, she said she just wanted to lay down because, they were done with the challenge and they're standing out there in the scalding Fiji
tired
sun.
And weak.
And they didn't win. And now you got this person who can't make up their mind subjecting you to this time torture.
10 minutes is a long time.
Way, way too long.
I would have told Probst, decide now.
Yeah.
Or you don't go.
Oh, no, Probst loved it.
It's over.
He's so thrilled that she brought back rock, paper, scissors, he said. It has historically been an element of the game, and he's trying to think of new ways to integrate it in. So it's like, yeah, whiffed again. Thanks, Jill. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, only 2 more episodes left, and the season is motoring along. I can't wait for Wednesday. Here's my other observations. This episode gave me deja Q. He's still here while a player with an idol got blindsided. Absolutely. That's perfect. Deja Q. There's your sellable item right there. That's a t-shirt for sure. Maria discovered that winning reward doesn't always bring you pizza mind. Peace of mind? Pizza mind? That's good.
Yep.
In a bad dad joke way. With this episode, Q beat Willard's record for most reward food eaten in a season. Oh, wow. Nice callback for Willard. Like Drew, Charlie is a thoughtful narrator. Will he be voted out at 6? Like Drew was? Recently fed Q had lost weight. Eating 23 slices of pizza probably fixed that. Charlie was kind when he comforted Kinsey. Or was he just grooming her for the jury? Yeah, probably a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. If I had to balance a billiard ball over my head, I'd wind up concussed and medevac. Kinsey says she needs to get more crafty. Is she going to make a fake idol? Venus getting frozen out at Ponderosa by other jurors is bullying. It's a game, jerks. Kinsey saying it was time to look for an idol turned Maria into a signing third base coach. Ah, yes, with the signal she was giving Q. Liz must think she can literally find an idol in her sleep. Indeed, she probably found many of them that day. I cheered when Venus hid her idol discovery. When she told Charlie, I groaned like Liz. Kinsey says she needs to mind her P's and Q's. Hasn't she been minding Q since day one? Venus went from having an idol in her hands to leaving with one in her pocket. Finding a hidden idol is season 46's version of the car curse. Charlie, of course, Venus has something up her sleeves. They're called arms. Oh, jeez. Ba-dum-pa. If Maria makes the final 3, Jeff should replace jury voting with rock, paper, scissors. Foreshadowing, Venus saying that going out with an idol in your pocket is the worst. Indeed. Charlie wanting Maria's new number 1 Q out was like a pet bristling when you get another pet. The final several. Curse you, Jelinski. Kenzie says Q and Maria are peacocks. That's the other network. Indeed. Once again, the whimsical survivor gods gave immunity to the primary target. Maria ran a red light. Charlie stuck behind a school bus going 15 miles per hour. Ben feels like a Ninja Turtle. Does that mean he's finally ready to come out of his shell? Jeez, that's a stinker. Charlie's gut's going in 2 directions. Maybe he needs more fiber. In the challenge, Maria showed an affinity for snakes. Just saying. Liz, I'm not sure suppressing your feelings causes allergies, but it could cause IBS. Maria was Oh, that's beautiful. I love this. Maria has resting Mona Lisa face. That's great. That's so accurate, too. Charlie and Venus, that's good humor when you recognize how deeply correct something like that is. Charlie and Venus had a handshake deal, but they didn't make a pinky swear. Maria's pizza decision took the longest ever. I'd hate to be her waiter. Jeff brought licorice to tribal council, but I was hoping for raisinets. When Maria made her choice, Liz gave her a real pizza her mind. Okay, one more pizza joke. I noticed that whenever Liz is annoyed, she makes a sound like a moose call. If Maria doesn't win, she can make her million, starring in a remake of Gaslight. Jeff saying shot in the dark was dubbed in. He was off camera and sounded funny. When Q and Venus were bickering, I hoped Mom Maria would give them both a timeout. Next time the Q skirt is back, Maria's gotta go. Kenzie flashes the Q signal. It's Ben's favorite blind side, and something died in Maria today and lit a fire in her. Was it bad toppings on her pizza? Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job, bud. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Wow. 3 players in a row go out of the game with idols in their pocket? Holy cow. Hey everybody, it's Jeremiah here with some feedback for this historic episode where we have a 3rd person in a row go home with almost the same scenario. Crazy, mind-blowing to me. And I know there's been a lot of chatter on the interwebs about is this just great gameplay by the other players or just poor gameplay by the ones who went out. Honestly, it is a combination of both. It does take a good player to convince someone else that they don't need to play an idol. But then again, some of these players should know better. I mean, it definitely like this week, seems like Venus knew her name was out there. Mm-hmm. So why not play it? It's a little bit of both, basically, is what we're talking about here. So it's fascinating. I will say it is extremely fascinating. I think these players are just overthinking things for the most part. I mean, when you think about the convincing part of things, I really feel like Hunter is the only one where I saw some really good gameplay by players who convinced him, hey, you're good, you're fine. I think Tiffany, I could see how she got blindsided. And then Venus, she obviously overplayed her conversation with Charlie. She even admitted that during her exit interviews, where she felt like, yeah, that was where she sunk herself right there, which is absolutely correct. But again, she should definitely have known to play her idol. I mean, her name was out there. She knew it was. So it's just a lot of game. I think in the end, it's more poor gameplay than good gameplay by everybody else. But that's just my personal opinion. My mind really hasn't changed about any of these players, y'all, after this episode. Obviously, Charlie's amazing. I mean, he's fantastic. Maria's good too, but she's overthinking things a lot too, I think. So the only other person, of course, I still think is possibly winner is our Kenzie. It really depends, of course, what happens here in the next few episodes. My mind right now is not really changed as much from last week, where I think that either Charlie or Maria is going to go home by blindside one or the other, or it's just going to be Q. So that's kind of where I'm at once again. So this week I really didn't know who to go for, and then luckily some people in our Facebook group was saying Venus, and I said, sure, why not? I'll go with Venus. Woo, that paid off really well for me. So we'll see what happens next week. But right now, I think I'm locking in with either Charlie or Maria going home. And I kind of think it might be Charlie, and I hope I'm wrong. But that's kind of where I'm leaning at the moment. But yeah, Venus, just I think with some maturity, she could be a lot better player. And I hate to hear that so many people on this cast was mean to her. But what are you going to do? All right, well, that's it for me. You guys take care. Until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. So I had a bunch of notes that were complimentary to Venus and the amazing gameplay that I anticipated from her after she found the hidden immunity idol. But I have trashed all that because we will never see what might have been. So I will start by saying that the hubris I'm seeing in Maria and the overconfidence makes me skeptical that she can pull off a win at this point. They are showing such negative reactions to all of her strategy. They could have edited the footage in a more positive way, so I wonder if that is telling us something about the eventual outcome. I imagine that they want us to like the eventual winner, so if Maria is the eventual winner, I wonder why they are casting such a villain pall over her game. Idol hunting footage is always fun, and Venus, good for her for keeping up the charade of looking for the idol. That was so funny, and other people's reactions to her unenthusiastic searching after that was also very funny. We had some great footage of bats this episode. One thing that I would really struggle with if I was out there is bats. Oh, and spiders. And snakes. I guess I would struggle with a lot out there. I liked Kenzie's comment that Maria and Q are peacocking. It never is a good look to gloat on Survivor, and it seems that Maria's gloating was not very private. After the immunity challenge, I didn't like Jeff making Maria talk through her process of decision-making. And I think doing rock, paper, scissors was such a cop-out. Not a good look for Maria to pit Q against Liz. Q had just had a feast. A huge Applebee's feast. I'm not saying she should have gave it to Liz either. Liz and her obviously have struggled to make a connection. I guess that's why it's never a good thing to be put in that position, to be picking people for those kinds of rewards. But this was for immunity too. I mean, you couldn't really throw that one. Not that I would ever advocate throwing a challenge, I really wouldn't. Why is it that the person who most needs immunity always wins it? It was so frustrating. I was really wanting to see the drama surrounding wanting to get Maria out and trying to do that. Liz and Venus's eyes, and Kenzie's for that matter, when Maria was explaining herself about who she chose to go on the reward, that was the best. It was the best conversation. Q comes walking up behind them, and Liz just refuses to stop talking. Brilliant. That was so fun to watch. At Tribal Council, I was very proud of Venus for sticking up for herself to Q and Maria. Maria definitely did not like being told that her decisions were not noble. And I was so disappointed to see Venus go out with the idol in her pocket. I just want to see someone have good instincts. I don't want to see yet another person be played for a fool. I don't know whether to be amazed that people can pull off the blindsides that they do week after week, or to be disappointed in the fact that this is a cast of people who have no instinct and no intuition about whether or not they are vulnerable. Fun fact, Soda is the only one on the jury right now who did not get voted off with an advantage or idol in her pocket. Crazy. Next time on Survivor, Maria is crying. Could she be the target of the next Q storm? Or is there some kind of family reward? Not like a family visit, because I don't think they do those in the modern era, but maybe letters from home? And she wasn't chosen to go on the reward, so she missed having that comfort from home in the form of letters from her husband and kids? I guess we'll find out. Till next week.
Thanks, Jen.
That's a good guess.
Yeah, that's good. I was thinking, what if it's her lamenting the fact that she's going to have to take Charlie out? You think it could in any way be something like that?
No, because she talked about how this was just going to make her fight that much harder. That doesn't sound like indecision about taking Charlie out. Maybe hearing that Charlie was going to take her out.
Right, that's the obvious one.
Yeah.
That she feels betrayed.
Yes.
in that regard, but it could...
And I doubt anyone else betraying her would hurt as much.
Would have an impact, yeah.
Not even with Ben, because I don't think they were ever that close.
Well, definitely not. She thought for the longest time that he had an idol and thought he was a liar.
But Charlie,
and she told him that straight up.
I think she truly believes Charlie's just with her and supporting her in everything she does and all the wonderful moves she makes. And
right.
I think she's bought that hook, line, and sinker, and now somebody's going to tell.
Maybe. Or just the majority has decided, look, we've really got to get rid of Charlie, and she realizes there's nothing she can do about it.
Maybe. that could be it as well.
Because Charlie had to rally them after Venus dropped her little something's up my sleeve bombshell. And so he was able to put that together really quick and get it flipped around and go, you know what? Yeah, it really needs to be Venus. This is what she just said. She's got something. And they did it in a way with some insurance with Q's vote.
Well, and I think Liz feels like she's in the final 5 or final 4 or whatever she thinks she's in, and maybe Maria's even given her hope for final 3. Who knows? So I guess that's why she didn't have any qualms about voting out Venus, because I thought she was closer to Venus than pretty much anybody else right now, but guess not.
Yeah, I'm still going to pull for Charlie to orchestrate a Maria blindside.
Yeah, I think I am too.
Even though that's probably us being delusional, given things how they've gone this season.
So what else is new?
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, I'm leaning toward, because that's what I kind of want to happen, though. I could easily see
she wins immunity.
Any of the others go. Yeah, she definitely could. Absolutely. So
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what comes next. Even though the gameplay has been horrendous, there have been enjoyable moments, and it's Survivor. I'm always there for it to see how it plays out.
And at least we don't have to worry about any more idols going home now.
Thank you. Big thanks to everybody who took time to pull their thoughts together and get them sent in. This is a crazy busy time of year with graduations and all kinds of
Mother's
trips.
Day.
And yeah, we got Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Yeah, got a lot going on this time of the season as we near the end, and we're looking forward to that.
Had our anniversary this week.
Yep, we did.
31st.
Okay, that's out of the blue. But yes, we did.
Well, I was just thinking about our week.
Yep, yeah.
We actually got to celebrate a little bit.
Yep, good stuff.
Okay, and if you play in JSFL, remember to make your Week 12 picks for one person voted off and 4 people who you think will be safe at the end of the episode.
I wasn't sure how we were getting out of that.
At me?
Well, given you took us on that other journey there, that's all.
Yeah, well, it was just a momentary journey.
Okay.
I came right back.
Yes. Good stuff. Have a good one.